Now today we'll be starting with Unit 3. Mm, yes, where in Unit 3 we are required to discuss about at least 5 systems with respect to the writing of or understanding the procedures that are utilized in managing the system. Yesterday we discussed with system study and process mapping, okay, and writing of standard operating procedures for the entire range of activity, wherein in a manufacturing organization we looked into the procedures for dairy industry, and with respect to the service industry, we have taken the example of, yes, issue of an I-card to the students, right? Now today in Unit 3, wherein the syllabus says that we have to have a detailed study of at least 5 systems and their underlying procedures, out of which one of the system that has been picked up by me today is the stock taking system in library, because every one of us are aware about how the books are being issued to the students, and the manner in which they are being maintained, the way in which you return the books, and the entire system of library as such has been experienced by each one of us. So now looking into the system of library, now suppose if we are asked to look into the stock taking system, we are asked to look into the taking of stock of whatever is available in the library and writing down the procedure for the same. So how will we move about all this? So I want you all to think. Uh, I give you all some 7 to 8 minutes on this, and then come out with some steps or procedures with respect to the stock taking in library. Now, with the stock taking, we are referring to the entire verification of stock that is available in the library. You can consider your graduation libraries and the manner in which the books are stacked up. Specialization wise, subject wise, author wise, and wherein you are a librarian and you are required to take the entire stock of books. Why be a librarian? In case you are coming from an engineering background and you are asked to prepare a system that would take care of the stock taking in the library. So how would you proceed with the system? Now over here we are looking into essentially a manual system of stock taking in the library. Yes, anybody? Come on, you are going to develop the standard operating procedures for the same. You are going to do it. I'll be giving you some data for sure. Then we will be discussing how actually the stock taking takes place with the improvements in the technology. That would be the second part of our discussion today. Yes, I want you all to speak.
Ma'am, is this like starting, like taking the book from library, the process?
No, it is not that process. See, it is not the process of issue and returning of books from and to the library. It is
Ma'am,
about,
is it about the stocking of the books?
no, it is when you say about stocking, it you are referring to purchases or procurement, right? We are not even speaking about that. We are having an entire library of books, okay? uh, Books of different specialization, different authors, different subjects, and so on. And as a librarian, you are asked to take a stock of the books. Now, what do we mean by taking up of a
Okay.
stock?
So taking
You are going to verify what is available in the given library.
yes.
So, how do you start about doing all this? So, that's where I want you all to think.
Ma'am, first I will create an inventory
Yes, very good.
and enter all books name and their stocks. Then
Okay.
I'll find which book, how many stocks I have. And
Okay.
all.
Now, you will be preparing an inventory. So, do you really need to prepare this inventory thing? Now, the inventory is something that clicked to your mind. Absolutely correct. But do you need to prepare this inventory?
Ma'am, we can have that while purchasing.
Yes. So, whenever the books are purchased in the library, that time itself, each and every book will be entered into the register.
Software.
Yes, it could be a register, it could be a system wherein you will be entering the name of the books. Now, generally nowadays, the computer systems are being used where you enter the name of the book, the subject, the author name, the edition, and so on. Okay, so that's the starting point. Yes. So when you are required to take a stock, what is it that you will be looking into now? You are very close.
Ma'am, first we will create inventory on
Okay,
inventory.
the inventory is already available in the system.
Yes.
Now tell me.
Then we enter all books name and author's name. Then we add name of students.
Okay,
Then when some student are going to issue that book using then we will get us know how much stock is available, like that.
okay, okay. Anybody would like to say anything different from here? Whatever is discussed? Okay. So now I am not going to prepare and give a ready-made standard operating procedure for you. You all will be preparing the standard operating procedures for this. Now, let us look into what are the areas we really need to think whenever from perspective of a librarian who is interested in taking the stock of the entire library. And she wants to say that whether all the books that has been procured in the library for the purpose of study for the students, or let us say the users, the teachers as well, teachers and the faculty members, whether the stock is up to date uh, and it is available right in the library. Okay. So now I have divided this entire discussion, we can say, into three parts. So that's where the books are available. Apart from the books, there are certain even other reference books, we can say, or magazines that the students are required to view with respect to their courses. So it's not only the books but also the other reading material that a student is expected to go through. So now probably we will have to look into from 5 angles, that is, what are the available resources with the library. Then probably we'll be having a plan regarding like how are we going to take the entire uh, stock taking or verification of stock. Then we are going to look into the communication aspects that would be required with respect to this activity in the library. Then the manner in which we are going to execute it, and then the documentation, actual documentation, that is, or the lists that will be required to be kept ready, so that we can that would be required and we are ready with the execution process, that is the stock taking system in the library. While taking the stock, we are ready with the requisite documents. So now let us look into this one by one. So first of all, we will be looking into what are the available resources in order to check the stock of the library. So wherein, as someone has said, at the time of purchase itself, the complete list of the entire books that are available in the library would be available in the systems that are maintained by the library. Okay. Now these systems could be manual systems or it could be computerized systems. In case of a manual system, probably they will be having registered where the on purchase the books are being mentioned. Okay. Nowadays, very less registered would be found. So generally, there are some computerized system that have the entire stock of the books. Now, I'm not aware about your college, but many of the colleges, uh, even if you have to search for a particular book author wise, or say the latest edition, whether it is available or no, or with respect to the latest book that is available in the market. Okay, so probably a student can do a search on the system itself, and then the librarian or the library staff will guide you as to which rack the book will be available. So that will be saving on your time as well. Then, while once the books are purchased, before entering the book into the system or placing it into the racks of the library, there are certain accession or code numbers that are given to each of the books that are maintained in the library. So first of all, I will look into the complete list of these books, whether maintained manually or through a computerized system. So this is my most important available resource, right? And then we'll be needing the help of some non-teaching staff, the library staff or within the college staff, wherein we'll have to take their help while taking the stock, because it is not possible for the librarian alone to do it. It's under her supervision that the stock will be verified. And we also will have to consider the time that is available in hand, because while uh, undertaking this stock taking activity, we will be disrupting the entire services that are being rendered by the library to the users of the library, right? So consider the available time in hand. So this is with respect to the available resources. Now, after looking into the available resources, then probably the person who is in charge of taking the stock will be preparing a plan. Now, the plan has to be prepared again. Now, over here, we are considering the authority as a librarian with respect to the stock taking activity, with respect to now, how are you going to conduct uh, the stock taking activity? So is it with respect to the different specializations that you are having in your college, that is finance, HR, marketing, IB, IT, and general management, or is it with respect to the specialization wise subjects that you will be looking into the stock, or is it or you will be deciding upon that we will be say the number of subjects from the first semester to the last semester is somewhere 6 plus 2, so 8 into 4, that is 32 subjects that if you have to taken care of. So how much time is available in hand, and accordingly what are the subjects I'm going to be covering in a particular day. So a plan has to be prepared. Now the entire plan again has to take into consideration the number of books that are available in the library, right? Then the number of streams that the library is catering to. Is it meant for both UG and PG, or just PG only, that is undergraduation and post graduation, or just PG, that is MBA and MCA, just two streams it needs to take care of. It will depend upon that. Okay, then accordingly the subjects, accordingly the books, and so on, right? Now this data is already with respect to book subjects, it will be already there in the system, because library is not built today itself. Okay, it is there for years together, so the data is already available with us. Now then the decision will be taken by the librarian about the availability of the library facility, or rather the non-availability, I should have put it, of the facility, because while while doing this, it won't be possible, none of the library staff would be available to issue or receive the books, right? So either the library staff, it will have to be closed for n number of days, or it is possible that if you are doing the stock verification rack wise in the library, then certain racks would be inaccessible to the users in specific days due to stock taking activity, or accordingly, and it has to be mentioned in the notice that is being put up or circulated, or the messages that are sent on official groups of students. It could be text message, it could be a WhatsApp message, right? Everybody has to be informed with respect to that a so and so stock taking activity will be taking on, because of which the library facility will not be available, or will be available subject to the following constraints, right? This has to be informed to the students. Now again, with respect to time, such type of activity should be taken especially after the semester end, when the exams are over and the books are returned by the students as well as by the staff. So it becomes easier for the users again, that won't be creating any problems with respect to the availability of books as such. So that's the time when the activity should be planned. Okay, then we look into, so this is with respect to the plan. So we looked into the available resources that one will be having, then we are looking into the plan, and then we will be looking into the communication aspect of it. The users again should be intimated about the stock taking activity by sending them a circular or putting up a notice on the notice board. Then the date should be declared in the notice or the circular that by a specific date, the books that are borrowed from the library should be returned before the stock taking activity starts. Right now, again, the books has to be now returned not only by the students but as well as by the faculty members that are teaching in the college. Then again, a list of a non-teaching staff has to be involved. Now, who are you going to involve? If the library staff, apart from the librarian, consists of 4 peons, okay, or supporting staff, then it is sufficient. In case it is not sufficient, an extra non-teaching staff has to be borrowed from the other departments, then a list of the staff has to be created, and then a sanction has to be received from the HOD or from the respective authority, head of the department or the director, regarding that so and so staff will be required and it won't be available for the other work during the stock taking activity. So this is the communication. Again, with respect to the staff also, one has to speak to the staff with respect that they won't be taking leave during this duration, and accordingly the support has to be created the sanctions have to be received. So this is with respect to the communication aspect. So the communications to the students, communication to the faculty teaching, communication to the preparation of list of staff, communicating to the non-teaching staff, and then receipt of the necessary sanction or approval from the head of the department or the director, right? So this is entirely with respect to the communication part. Then we look actually into the execution part of this. But then before we look into the execution part, okay, yes, we will take care of the execution and then the documentation that would be required. So, so the actual execution has been splitted into 10 steps. That is, on the decided day, the verification process will start along with the available resources, that is the requisite staff, the necessary documents, which will be looking into the next step, and the concerned authority. Again, of course, the librarian has to be present. It is under the supervision of the librarian that the entire activity will be carried out. Then before starting, the access to the users of the library has to be restricted. So we don't have users, either you will be closing down on the library or closing down on specific racks that won't be available to the users. So restrictions on the access to the users has to be decided, and accordingly it has to be monitored. Okay. Then if rearrangement of the books can also be scheduled with the verification process, then it has to be mentioned. So probably what can happen over here, whenever you are looking into the list and you are doing the verification process, books can be arranged. Now this arrangement of books could be with reference to or alongside the latest additions, from old to the latest additions with respect to a particular subject, again with respect to the particular authors and so on, right? So that has to be clearly stated to the staff. Then the staff involved would verify all the details as per the accession number or the coding number, the author and the edition, etc. So this is the manner in which the staff will be carrying out the activity. Each verification sheet has to be attested by the person who is involved and the guiding authority. So when the staff involved will start the verification process, it will check that the accession number of the book, the author and the edition, and accordingly it will be mentioning in the verification sheet that so and so book has been verified. Okay, so either depending, they could be entering the details in the sheet, or they could be having a ready-made sheet wherein they will be ticking on each and every items and verifying whether they are there available in the library or no, right? And this will take place, and once a sheet is completed by them, checking of the sheet is completed, then it has to be attested, signed by the person who is involved in the stock taking activity, and again it has to be signed by the guiding authority, that is generally the librarian. Okay, now in bigger libraries, you will be having one librarian or even two or more that are supporting the main librarian, and accordingly the people would be involved. Then again, the slow moving books, that is those books that they are just used twice or thrice, say in 3 years, then a decision could be taken with respect to discarding the books, because these books are not being utilized by the students. All right. So again, a list of these books could be prepared, right? Those books that are found in unusable conditions or not found in usable conditions could be mended, or that is they could be repaired or they could be replaced. So in case the books are torn or the binding is found to be loose or printing is found to be a lighter, getting lighter over the number of years it being used, so accordingly the list of all these things should be prepared. Now these things will be visible actually when taking the stock and looking into each of the books that are being verified, right? So accordingly, the list needs to be prepared. So a separate list of these books that can be mended has to be prepared. A separate list of books that is required to be replaced should be prepared. Means They are not in usable conditions, but looking into, taking into consideration the number of students and the faculty members, those many number of copies of a particular books needs to be available at any moment in the library. Then accordingly, the decision with respect to replacement of the book should be made. Again, that would automatically reflect the list of the entire range of available books in good or readable condition. So once the books that are required to be maintained, mended or repaired or replaced, once this is done, automatically the remaining books are in usable condition. So now, while undertaking the stock taking activity, now what can be done is, probably while starting beforehand, you can have these documents ready, so that staff will be ready with the entire list attached to the writing pad, and they will be just looking into the ticking of the books that are being available. Okay, and across the list of the book, in case the entire list is also available along with the accession numbers, they can mention the you can say remark as good condition, or needs repairing, needs binding, or tone, or needs replacement, and so on, right? So the documentation required could be a list of supporting non-teaching staff, first of all, who would be involved on what day, during what hours accordingly. Then stock verification sheets that will be prepared in advance, that will give the entire details of the number, the coding number or the accession number, the subject, author, edition, and so on. And then we can have a remark column to write what is the condition of the book that is being verified while taking the stock. List of books that needs to be maintained, just a detailed list could be given, wherein while taking the stock, the necessary staff will be entering the number of the books, the author, the edition, and so on, and the list of the books that needs to be replaced. So this is the manner in which, or the 5 steps that we will be observing, in writing of a standard operating procedure for stock taking system in a library. So I hope now you are getting the presentations. So with the available information, you should be able to develop. Now, more or less, the operating procedure has been mentioned to you in the execution part, right? In the execution part. Now, while writing the standard operating procedure, what you will be doing is, you will be maintaining a sequence of each and everything that is given with respect to these 5 subparts. Okay, and that's how the procedure. So once the procedure is laid down, it is documented and it is ready. So anybody, it will be possible next year onwards, just hand over the look into the standard operating procedure, and then you can easily start taking the stock. So no need to think, just apply the procedure, read into it, apply it, and that is sufficient for you to do the job. So that's where standard operating procedures help. So I hope with this information, you will be able to prepare the standard operating procedures, right? So now, what we discussed today was with respect to, or as a part of your syllabus, but then one needs to also know, I thought, that about what is being observed nowadays with the latest technology that is being available in with respect to the libraries. So now let us look into one of the research paper that was available with respect to the stock taking system, that says awakening stock taking practice in academic libraries, the radio frequency identification technology. So I thought this could be of help to you in discussing, or you can even consider that such a type, a library where this latest technology is being implemented, and then you can have your SOPs formed, that is standard operating procedures. So I leave it up to you. So now let us look into how do this radio frequency identification technology works, right? So let us discuss this. Now, the services of the traditional library is declining nowadays in Western countries, especially. Much of the emphasis is being laid on the use of information technology as a means of providing access to the information resources and ensuring improved library services. Just a moment. Yes. So to ensure improved library services. Now to empower the library users and to maximize the use of library resources, libraries they have implemented a self-service system that is available to the users 24 hours in 7 days, that is 24/7. Okay. Now due to this, the books are frequently lost or misplaced when they are returned. So stock taking is an important library operation that helps to maintain the collections and keep a track of the library resources. Now, if stock taking is not done frequently, then it would result in the users' complaints as well as frustrations with respect to the library services due to the unavailability of resources when they are desperately required by the user. So still, in spite of these frustrations due to the inadequate staffing or the tasking nature of the work, stock taking appears given as a least priority in the libraries, and uh, that's where this technology is being introduced to make things more easier. Okay, I want someone to mute their. Yes. Roll number 62. So now,
Yes, ma'am.
please mute your mic. Mute yourself because that's creating disturbance. Okay. So now with the current technological scenario and the changing perception about the information and the information system, it is important for libraries to understand the current change, accept the trend, and work proactively to handle these situations, especially with respect to non-availability of books when required by the users, right? So now the technology which provides the right information to the right user at a right time and in at a right place through a personalized service is necessary for the effective and efficient library services. So many of the important library services such as the stock inventory also can be accelerated through the use of RFID. So radio frequency identification, that is a new generation of auto identification, okay, and data collection technology, which helps to automate the business processes and allows the identification of large number of tagged objects like books using radio waves. Anybody can state where this RFID technology is being used? Now, looking at the picture that is given over there, yes, probably that should strike you all. Anybody? Okay, so let us.
मैम बारकोड स्कैन करने के लिए RFID यूज करते
Yes, for scanning of
Ma'am,
barcode.
courier services.
Yes. Yes, what did you say? Especially whenever you
Ma'am,
are
courier services.
courier services. Okay. Uh, especially when you
Post
are
office, they use that infrared.
yes, yes. And then even if you are whenever you are going to malls, so probably it is being used to scan your purchases, and with this technology automatically that gets added to your bill, the requisite item, the price, and In case there are deals, if any, it will be showing the deals and so on. So that's how this technology is being utilized into libraries as well. Okay. So now with respect to this, now let us not look into the importance of stock taking in the libraries. We have already discussed that. Uh, Okay, so how does this activity stock taking management policy, how it is framed in different countries all over the globe? Now let us look into it with respect to stock management policy. So the stock management policy, which is an important part of library operation, it usually laid out procedure or a guide in document that contains the guidelines for selection, acquisition, management and withdrawal of library materials. Now it is necessary to have a documented guide that will specify when and how stock taking should be done and whose responsibility it is to carry out the operation. So now within the United Kingdom, each institution tends to define its own stock management policy. At University of East London, it is a yearly exercise that they have a stock management policy which specify why, what and how about their library collections. Okay. Now this guides them to select the material for the students' use based on the reading list submitted by the departments annually and determine the number of copies to acquire for a particular title. In addition to that, a book that is heavily used by the students, more copies of this title is being added to the available ones since the statistics of the collections are available. Now for withdrawals, the titles that have not been used for past say 3 to 5 years are withdrawn from the shelf to provide space for the new arrivals. This is a clear and specified policy for managing the library collections. Now, in Galloway libraries, their stock development policy explains why they stock a particular material, in what format, and how the stock is selected, how the stock is maintained and promoted, and why they decide to keep some items and throw away some, their position on censorship, and how they measure the performance of the stock. So these are clearly spelled out in the policy and it is used, this policy itself is reviewed on a yearly basis. Now the case is similar even at the University of Salford Library. They have collection management policy and their stock taking is usually done during the summer vacation period at the end of every academic session when the students have returned the books that are being borrowed. Now, in a Nigerian situation, most libraries carry out stock taking based on their initiative. Stock taking is done based on their discretion or when they feel that there are old books to weed off from the shelf, that is to be removed from the shelf. Some libraries, they collaborate with the academics for reading list of materials they need for teaching and for research purpose as well. In countries like India, they have a documented stock management policy which provides a guide to the libraries on what to acquire and in what format. They collaborate again with the academics to provide a reading list of titles they need for their teaching and research purpose as well. Also, their stock taking practice is done regularly to ensure that they keep a track of their collections to identify the heavily used collections. Okay. So now this is with respect to the stock taking management policy. Then with respect to the RFID technology and stock management. Now RFID is a combination of radio frequency based on technology and microchip technology. The information contained on microchips in the tags that are affixed to the books that are read with radio 4 frequency technology. Now, it is the latest radio 4 frequency technology. It is the latest and the fast growing technology that is being used in the library to identify, you can say in the library theft detection system, and as a tracking system or access control system. Now, it is not just to tag the books, but it provides comprehensive route to enhance all the library services. Now, these RFID tags, they contain a memory chip and an RF antenna that sends and receives several bits of data. Such RFID tags are known as smart labels or digital identification tags. Now, these tags, they provide again the benefits of electronic article surveillance, EAS, as well as the barcodes. Now, what are the components of RFID tag? Basically, there are 4 components or parts that are being involved: the tag itself, the reader, the antenna, and the server. The tag is the part affixed to the library material. It contains microchips that are programmed with unique information, and the size of this tag will depend on the antenna, which increases with the range of tag and decreases with the frequency. Now, the tag is the data carrier of RFID. It contains a unique ID number that is programmed into the item. The tag consists of small integrated circuits or silicon chip, which allows for the unique identification of the tag and the antenna that can send and receive the radio waves. The antenna is connected to the reader. It emits the power and signals to and from the RFID tags. Now, the reader is a link between RFID tags and the server, while the server is the heart of comprehensive RFID system. It receives information from the antenna and it exchanges information with the circulation database. So many libraries use barcodes, and the library management system identifies the books by reading the barcode using the scanner. Now, how is the RFID being operated in the library system? Now, as a part of the technology implementation itself, RFID is affixed in every library book as well as the reading material. The information is entered into the software installed in the server, right? When a book is issued or returned, the RFID reader from tag reads the information relating to that item and transmits the data into the software, and the book is issued out or returned to the library within few seconds. As the user takes the book outside the library, the antenna that is mounted at the gate, that is a library gate, it automatically reads the information contained in the RFID tag to know if the book was properly borrowed, right? If it is not properly borrowed, it triggers an alarm to indicate that library material is taken out unofficially. Now, it has helped to minimize the book thefts from the libraries. Another important use of RFID technology is in stock taking. As stated, stock taking was previously neglected due to the highly repetitive nature. But with the technology, library personnel can easily carry out stock taking in fast and efficient manner. Now, this is done by placing the scanner on the books, which results in transmission of the scanned information to the database. So that is what is being indicated in the picture over here, which results in the transmission of the scanned information to the database based on the report already generated from the database with respect to the available books. Okay, and that's how missing items or mis-shelved books, even in case the book is there but it is not kept in the proper shelf, then that can be identified. Now, at the University of East London, the 3M Digital Library Assistant, that is DLA as it is called as 3M DLA, it is used to read RFID tags that are placed on books. The handheld software is installed on the computer with the system software. So whenever data is exported to the memory card, the handheld software is automatically exported to the memory card. So to carry out stock taking using 3M DLA, a report is generated from the library system itself based on the records in the database. The report is saved in the memory card, which is inserted into the handheld device, and the battery is inserted. So the device can then be used for stock taking inventory. Any queried book that is found on the shelf triggers the DLA to be. So queried book could be the book, it's shown over here. It could be a book which is not there in the library itself, an extra book that could be found in the library, right? So where a query could be raised. So that's how the latest RFID technology, that is 3M DLA, is being used. And then now we look into the benefits and uses of RFID technology in the library. So we can say that it reduces the time spent in the circulation process, since information can be read from the tag faster and several items can be read at the same time. So it gives the staff more opportunity to do other work than the stock taking activity. Similarly, it empowers the students again, that is the users, you can say over here, to issue, to return library material without having to wait in a queue. It enables the users to borrow library material even when the library desk is not staffed. So you don't need the requisite amount of peons or library staff to take care of these day-to-day activities. Now it also enables libraries to open libraries for services for longer hours, that is 24/7, without having to invest in additional staffing. Now, since RFID again can be read from the book without actually opening the books to scan it like in barcode, it makes borrowing of library materials easy, and the student can borrow more than one item at a time. Again, that will depend upon the availability and the number of books that are there in the library. RFID further, it helps to minimize the theft of the library property. Some systems, they have an interface between the exit sensor and the circulation to identify items moving out of the library. Again, this RFID can be used to identify the books and automatically sort the books into different bins as it is being programmed in the system. Now again, this reduces the work of library staff and makes shelving of books easier. As a book sorter reduces the considerable time to return items to shelves, it increases library materials availability and hence increasing user satisfaction with the library resources. Also, high speed and accuracy can be obtained in the entire stock taking activity. So this is a very unique feature of RFID over the barcode. With the scanner, it is easy to scan through volumes of books on the shelves without actually pulling them out. The handheld reader is moved over the books rapidly. Any item that has been queried to be missing can be dictated through this process, right? So that's with respect to the stock taking, latest stock taking uh, technology that is being used for stock taking purpose, that is the radio frequency identification. Okay, so now in case of standard operating procedures with respect to the RFID, it could be majorly different, but then I leave it up to you. You can stick up to the practices that we have discussed with respect to the that manual staff that will be undertaking the activity, right? So now this would be one of the assignments, and as discussed yesterday also, we won't be having the uh, assignment for the, what do we say, the competition, SIP competition that we discussed, because you all are yet to go into the summer internship projects, right? So we won't consider that assignment now. Instead, we will be discussing 5 such systems as I have come across the points, and you will be building up the standard operating procedures for the same, and then you will be developing the flow charts for the same, and a few of you will be coming up with the swim lane diagrams uh, for the same. So let us see. I'll discuss it with Vaishali ma'am with respect to the total number of students, and then according to the roll numbers, we will segregate the 5 systems that we will be studying into. Okay. So some of them you will be preparing, writing down actually the SIP standard operating procedures. The others will be preparing a flow chart, and another group will be preparing a swim lane diagram for the same. Okay, so that would be with respect to the evaluation of the 5 systems in business systems and procedures, right? Yes, so that's where we stop over here for today, and next time we'll be coming up with another system to be discussed. Yes, I hope that was interesting for you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you, ma'am.
yes, thank you all.